And welcome to the BBQn Sports podcast, where we talk all things Kansas City sports, barbecue, beer, and more. This is Jason Weaver with my co-host Kelsey Moore as we lead you off into the next inning. All right, thank you for tuning in to the BBQn Sports podcast. We're going to quickly recap last week's drawing, see who wins, and then we'll cover the Chiefs week, preview next week's game, or this coming week's game, and then we'll talk a little bit of beer, and then a little bit of Royals. So first, let's get us moved over here to the wheel. All right. And let's see who wins. Is it showing?
Yep.
And Kiana.
$25 to Hy-Vee for Kiana.
Thanks for subscribing and commenting your favorite barbecue. I hope we get to do some more things like this in the future. So.
Yes, thank you for everyone. Thank you to everyone for subscribing and commenting. We appreciate it, and keep the feedback going even when we aren't giving away great gift cards, but hopefully we get some more stuff like that to give away.
All right, so moving on to last week's game. Lost to a division rival. Had 4 turnovers. Was a pretty ugly game. Kelsey, you want to lead us off with this?
Yeah, so, I mean, you're stating the obvious here. Had we not turned the ball over our first 2 drives, we had a chance to be up 14-0. If you look at the statistics, we pretty much outplayed them in every possible statistic. We had time possession. We won that. 32-21 in first downs, 437 total yards of 352. We outrushed them 186-77. They had 2 more penalties than us. Return yards were exactly equal. We had more plays than them. We averaged the same amount of yards per play. But the difference in the game was 4 turnovers for us, 0 for them. Honestly, everyone is freaking out and blaming the defense and all these other things. This was by far the best the defense looked. The defense gave up an average of 470 yards per game the first 2 games. They gave up 350 this week. So while we should panic because the fact that when the defense plays that well, we should win every game, we should also maybe we should look at a little bit of context of this game. Yes, we are 1-2. The Raiders are 3-0. The Broncos are 3-0. And the Chargers are 2-1 and have an extra game on us because they beat us head-to-head. I understand all of that. Like, I get it. Chiefs fans should be very frustrated right now. First time we're under 500 since 2016 when we started. I think it was 16, the year we started like 1-5 or whatever when Jamal Charles went down and still made the playoffs. I get it. I get why Chiefs fans are frustrated, and I'm frustrated. It was a very frustrating game to watch. But our defense looked a lot better. Our offense isn't going to turn the ball over 4 times every game. What we've got to quit doing is we've got to quit being complacent. Like, we get to this point where we think, well, we can come back in any game. We can just turn it on when we want. And we fiddle fart around with these teams that shouldn't be in games with us. I mean, the Chargers are a good team. Don't get me wrong. They're a good team. But when we didn't turn the ball over, we looked a lot better than the Chargers did this week. And we turned it over 4 times. That's the story of the game. One thing that really confused me, and it ended up working out for them, the Chargers at the end of the game, I understand people being aggressive. I don't understand what the heck they were doing at the end of the game. Like, they should have never scored that touchdown. Chiefs didn't score, so it doesn't matter. But why would you give the ball back to the Chiefs with a chance to tie it? And at that point, it would be to take the lead to win the game because they missed the extra point. Like, I didn't understand that at all. It didn't matter in the end. Chargers beat us. There are not very many teams that can come back from giving away the ball 4 times to win a game. We've had 6 turnovers the last 2 games, and that's been the difference in both of those games. We still almost won the game.
Yeah.
Giving it to them 4 times.
We had actually given up 3 turnovers and still had a chance to win the game. So defensively, we looked a lot better. Nick Bolton out there, 4 tackles, so he's really stepping up. I really look forward to see Willie Gay. I think we need him back on the field as quickly as possible. But I mean, It's not time. It's not time to panic, Chiefs Kingdom. Like honestly, let's be real here. We're still a playoff team. I find it very unlikely that we don't make the playoffs. Now, we lose next week, you can panic. We lose the Eagles, you can panic. But it's not time to hit the panic button yet. Our offense looked good. Looks like it's about to get better. Kelsey called that last week. Josh Gordon looks like doesn't look like it. We signed him, so Kelsey called that.
Passive physical. It became official today.
Yeah,
he was on the practice field actually.
He was practicing on the field today. So Kelsey called that last week. So if you were listening here, you heard that call before anybody else. But on another note, if you were listening last week and took my fantasy advice and started Clyde Edwards-Helaire, you did pretty good because he rushed for 100 yards and got a receiving touchdown. So not the production exactly what I was thinking that we were going to do, but he did get that touchdown. Doesn't matter how, so that was good. That was nice to see.
Yep, and you were right. They didn't give up on him. I don't think either of us thought they were going to give up on him.
Even after he fumbled again. Again.
And then they kept feeding him. So Andy Reid stuck to what we said. He feeds the people and tries to get their confidence back. But man, that beginning of that game, going back to the Ravens game, there was a point where we had turned the ball over on 4 straight possessions because we turned it over the last possession of the Ravens game and then 3 straight to start the Chargers, and that's just you can't win doing that.
So
I mean, there is no other way to put it than we are beating ourselves at that point.
Yeah.
We're moving the ball at will and can't score because we're giving them the ball.
So looking at Mahomes' 2 interceptions, what did you see there? Because the one that was going to Kelsey, I think there was a little miscommunication. It looked like Kelsey stutter stepped a little bit, and either he was adjusting his route or didn't follow through with the route that Mahomes thought.
So yeah, I agree that there was miscommunication. Mahomes still forced it.
It seemed it was still going to be a contested ball, I would say, but it definitely I feel like a lot of people are like he overthrew that by 15 yards, but in reality Kelsey didn't finish the route like he was supposed to, or he was trying to shake the corner. There was something more going on there on that interception.
Yeah, I completely agree. Kelsey started going across the field, and Mahomes threw it up the field. Either way, he was forcing. He was trying to make something happen. Mahomes does that. I honestly don't want him to stop doing that. Now, the only thing I will say is I do want him to stop throwing no-look passes because that first interception, he was looking one way and threw it the other, and it's probably still should have been caught, but he was throwing it to our 5th-string receiver and threw it behind him. Like
it still should have been caught.
Just make the pass.
Yeah, it definitely still should have been caught. But yes, I mean, he could have made the pass more catchable. Sure, yeah, absolutely. He didn't have to throw it a no-look pass. He was wide open. He was wide open. I mean, so yeah, but to an extent, though, I don't want Mahomes to stop doing that. I think it really does throw the defense. You know, he's looking in one direction, throwing to the other guy. If he wasn't doing that at the time, if he was looking at that wide receiver, the wide receiver probably wouldn't have been open.
So I get what you're saying, but there's ways to look away guys without throwing a no-look pass. Like a lot of quarterbacks can look away a defender without throwing a no-look pass.
He could definitely fake throw. He could do a little jerk in the other direction or something.
Like you can just look to the right and come back to the left. Like you don't have to actually keep looking right when you throw the ball. I think what we're seeing though, and I think a lot of people will not want to hear this, we're seeing that there's a lot more Brett Favre. And Brett Favre won back-to-back MVPs. So don't get it twisted. Brett Favre was a great quarterback. But there's a lot more Brett Favre in Mahomes than we saw early in his career. He likes to take chances.
Wasn't that something he was compared to early on?
Well, that's because of his strong arm. But people were comparing him to Aaron Rodgers because he was taking care of the ball so well. But I think that we're going to see Mahomes' interceptions go up and not down in his career, if you ask me. And like I said, that's fine. If he keeps making plays, I'm really okay with him making every once in a while. Now, if we get to the point where our offense can't outscore everyone 35 to just go out and outscore people, he's going to have to reel it back a little bit because we put the defense in some bad positions sometimes when we do that.
I mean, you're definitely going to see his interceptions go up. I mean, let's be real here. He had 12 and 18, which was, not bad considering he threw 50 touchdowns, and then only 5 and 19 and 6 and 20. So, yeah, I mean, he's already got 3 this year. I'd say two of them weren't really his fault. Well, okay, no, I take that back because that one he was trying to make a play. So I'd say one wasn't really his fault because I do think the receiver still should have caught the ball. But that being said, yeah, I think the numbers are going to go up. They're not. I mean,
and I don't know that he'll throw. I don't know he'll get where Favre was throwing 15 or 20 a year, but I think he'll be 10 to 15 ish.
Oh yeah,
every year.
He's certainly not going to throw the most interceptions ever.
What? Wait, you have that record on Madden for 52 or something like that in one season?
Yeah, in a season, I definitely have that record on Madden. I also threw for like 114 touchdowns in Madden, but besides the point.
52 interceptions.
So going back to Josh Gordon, big pickup. I mean, that's super exciting, right?
Yeah, I mean, if he can be half of what he was at the 5 different teams he's played for when he's been eligible to play, he will be a huge pickup for us. I don't know how you prepare for a team that has Travis Kelce, Tyreek Hill, and Josh Gordon. Travis Kelce and Tyreek Hill is hard enough, but realistically, with not having an additional guy that you really have to focus on, you can almost put 2 guys on both of those guys and try and blitz floor like teams have against us. You can have somebody over the top of Hill, somebody manned up on Hill, and then a guy over top of Kelce and a guy manned up on Kelce. You can't have 2 guys on 3 different players. It's not going to happen. So you're going to have to pick your poison. And if Josh Gordon is half as good as he used to be, or he's shown us he can be,
that's all we need.
As long as we're not giving the ball away, we should be able to score well.
A slight distraction that sometimes catches the ball will be just enough, I believe, to push this offense just way over the limit. But
yeah, I mean, if our defense plays as bad as it did the first 2 weeks, then we're talking about Mahomes throwing 50 touchdowns again.
But let's be real.
The offense is much more
oh yeah, absolutely. But let's be real here. How many weeks before he pisses hot?
Well, he passed his drug test to be able to sign the contract, so that's a good start.
Let's just hope he's got his head straight this time and sticks with it.
I'm not 100% positive on this because I've seen different things. So the rule now in the NFL is if you fail a marijuana test, you get fined. You don't get suspended. But I've been told, and I should have researched this before this episode, I've been told that his reinstatement was based on the fact that he could stay clean, and that includes any kind of substance abuse, including alcohol and marijuana. I've been told if he fails the test, if he has alcohol in his system, then he is suspended. I'm not 100% positive if that's right, but that's what I've been told.
Yeah, and I mean, my guess is that the random drug testing won't be exactly very random for Josh Gordon. So
I actually think that he has something else written in his contract that he has to get tested every so many weeks or something like that.
Okay. All right.
Because that was part of his reinstatement. He's only been reinstated 6 times at this point, so kind of understandable for him to put stuff like that in.
All right.
I just hope he can stay clean for us.
So obviously we're last in the division, and we've lost back-to-back games. It's not looking pretty. We're heading into this game against the Eagles. What's your thoughts on this week's matchup?
I mean, I think everyone who watched the Cowboys-Eagles Monday night game, there were a lot of question marks on the Eagles the first couple weeks. They looked decent. Against the Cowboys, they did not look decent. They looked about as bad as a team can look. Andy Reid's going back to Philadelphia. The second time he's been to
You got a conspiracy about this.
Yes, I do. So I do believe that maybe the Chiefs purposely lost 2 games in a row so that Andy Reid could go back to Philadelphia and win his 100th game as the head coach of the Kansas City Chiefs in Philadelphia. I think the Chiefs conspired. I don't think it was Andy Reid. I think the team conspired, got together, and said, hey, we're going to lose these 2 games so that Andy can go back to Philadelphia and win his 100th game in Philadelphia just so he can rub it in their faces real quick.
That's a hot take right there.
That's a definite possibility. I think that's a definite
possibility.
Mahomes was probably heading that conspiracy.
I am definitely a big believer in Andy Reid holding back early in the season, and that's why we lose to a lot of these teams we shouldn't lose to. I wouldn't say that so far this year, but it seems more often than not we lose to a team that we shouldn't lose to, and I really believe he holds back and saves plays. So honestly, it wouldn't surprise me, but I don't think that's the case because now we got to go on a tear to really reclaim that number one seed.
I honestly think this season so far, Andy has went into the locker room and he has his wins posted on the chalkboard. He's like 99, has it circled, and everyone's like, okay, wait, we're gonna wait and not win these next two games so his 100th can be in Philadelphia. I think that's been the plan all along.
Man.
I think that's what they've been doing.
You know, we talked about going to Philly for a game, and this is the one we really should have went to be honest. Like
Yeah,
we should have traveled
we
for
should
this
be
game.
calling up Tanks. We should
I
be
know.
calling up Tank and telling him, hey, dude, we're going to this game. We are going.
I'm gonna have to send Mike the podcast. I don't think he even knows we have it, but I'll have to send it to him. We should have had him on this show actually as a third person. Yeah, he would have been great. Maybe we can have him on for the recap and just talk about how bad the Chiefs beat them.
We should have. But yeah, I think the biggest thing in this game is obviously the Chiefs' rushing defense has not been good. Jalen Hurts does not help that situation at all. We saw how it went against the Ravens. Jalen Hurts has looked good the first two games. He looked bad this last game against the Cowboys. So which Jalen Hurts, which Eagles team are we going to see? I don't see the Chiefs having any problems in this game. The defense looked better against the Chargers. The offense is going to put up 35 points. I don't see us turning the ball over 4 times. The Chiefs should go in and if the Chiefs want to be taken seriously this year, the Chiefs should go in and rout the Eagles.
Well, and they should. I mean, the Eagles are not that great of a team. They're in the worst division, in my opinion, in football. So, yeah, I mean, this is a must-win game, and I think we're gonna absolutely clean their clocks. I mean, I don't foresee this even being a close game, to be honest. But yeah, I mean, it's a must-win game because we play the Bills the week after, and this, like I said, the first week, this is a really tough part of our schedule is that at the beginning. There's no doubt we're going to the playoffs, but this is a tough part, and if we don't win this week, and honestly, we really need to win against the Bills to even have a shot at the number one seed, in my opinion, and have that home AFC game that we've only missed 1 or 2 of in our lifetime.
Yeah, you might be right. If we lose to the Bills, that'd be our 4th loss. So the Bills would have head-to-head against us. That'd probably be the number one competition for that spot.
Well,
let alone the fact that our division has 2 3-0 teams and a 2-1 team ahead of us right now.
4th loss. Are you expecting us to lose to the Eagles?
Or that'd be our 3rd loss.
Third
I'm
loss,
sorry.
yeah.
What I meant to say was that'd be our 3rd loss, and the Bills would have head-to-head against us. They'd have to lose 4 times.
Yeah, and honestly, we still got the Raiders who look great. I mean, I wouldn't say great. They look really good. It's gonna be a tough game against the Raiders.
So you know what's funny is I was looking up odds today for the AFC West and for the AFC. The Chiefs are still 3rd to win the AFC, and they're the favorites to win the AFC West, according to Vegas. Vegas is pretty good at this stuff. They win a lot of money doing this stuff. Guess who is 2nd in the AFC West odds?
Oh, it's Denver, isn't it?
Yep, Denver.
It's
and
crazy.
3rd is LA. 4th is Vegas. The Raiders are last on the odds to win the division. Now, don't get me wrong; it's very close. Like we're like minus 175, and then Denver's plus 300, Chargers are plus 350, and Raiders are plus 600. So it's one of the closer divisions.
I'll have to look at the Raiders' schedule because that just seems bizarre to me that at this point in time they would be
the Raiders
last.
did finish 2nd, so that means they finished 2nd last year, right, in the division? Yeah, and the Chargers finished 3rd, the Broncos 4th. So they would have obviously the whole AFC North just like we do. Then they would have the Colts who look terrible, and they would have the Dolphins who don't look great. So really, I don't think it's their schedule is the reason why.
That's crazy.
Although the Broncos did finish 4th, so that means they have the Bengals. Well, they have the AFC North. We all play the whole AFC North. They have the Jaguars and the Jets.
While we're on the topic, do we have the toughest division now?
NFC West.
You still think NFC West, huh?
Dude, the NFC West.
I think by the end of this year,
Bowl contenders.
Well, yeah, the Cardinals are playing really good. Rams playing really good.
49ers and Seahawks. Yeah, that
So.
division's stacked.
But hey, I mean,
We might have the
honestly,
toughest division in the AFC though.
like wild card. I mean, we got to be talking about the Chargers, and I let's be honest, I don't think the Broncos are going to be in it. Maybe they are, I don't know, but I do think that the Chargers and Raiders could be contenders for the wild card. This could be a pretty crazy playoff scenario.
I think all three of them will be in it deep in the season. I think all four teams in the AFC West will be in contention deep into the season. The Broncos' defense is good. Their offense is moving the ball. I get it. The combined opponents are 0-9, but their defense looks really good, and their offense is taking care of the ball. They've beaten teams they're supposed to beat. What else are they supposed to do? We'll see a lot about them against the Ravens this week, but
good teams are supposed to beat teams you're supposed to beat, right? So I mean,
yeah, and the Chiefs struggle with that sometimes. So.
We always struggle with that. We always lose that game to some nobody team that we should have never lost to.
So yeah, the Eagles' defense has looked decent, other than the Cowboys game. The Cowboys game looked terrible. I still expect us to put up 35 points because, let's be real, nobody's stopping the Chiefs' offense. The Chiefs' offense stops themselves.
So
the Chiefs'
I still think Gordon's gonna be. He probably won't even play this week, right? I mean,
yeah, they signed him to the practice squad. I don't see him being active this week. I see him being active against the Bills, but not this week.
Okay. Yeah, and we do have a pretty complex playbook, so to get a guy out there, I mean, he'd just be running fly routes, essentially, you would think.
Yeah.
So
I mean, they might do that too. They might have him
well,
out there just running.
And that was my thought, is at least a distraction, maybe on a couple plays. I mean, surely you could do like a jet sweep or something. I don't know, just some kind of deal like that.
The fact that they signed him to the practice squad tells me he probably isn't.
Yeah, I agree.
They said they signed him to the practice squad and they were going to activate him whenever he was up to speed.
Yeah, and I don't think he will. Didn't Bell sit out a couple weeks before he even picked up a play? A real play. I think even the first week he played when we had him was just really basic plays.
Yeah.
Well, obviously our predictions last week were wrong because we both projected the Chiefs to win, and it wasn't really any close to score. What you got this week for a score?
If we don't come out and blitz the Eagles, I'm gonna say I feel like we're gonna give up points regardless. Even if we get ahead, they're gonna get some garbage time points. I'm gonna say 38-24. Chiefs by 2 touchdowns. Andy Reid going back to Philadelphia, put it in their faces. It's the first time we've played at Philadelphia since the first year that Andy Reid was here. And I remember how bad we destroyed them that game. So I see us doing the same thing. We are due to we've got to put it on them this weekend. Yeah,
we're close on our projections here. I'm going 42-24, and yeah, I mean, I think it's going to be nonstop, pedal to the metal. Andy Reid's not going to hold anything back. This isn't going to be one of those games where he leaves out some of those plays. This is going to be the game where he wants it, and he wants it bad.
So you know what's going to happen. We're both going to be wrong because we're going to end up winning by a touchdown. It's actually, we're 7-point favorites, and last year we'd win every game and we would never cover. So we'll probably win by 6. Would be my guess. Somehow it'll end up being a 6-point game and we'll win by 6.
Yeah, somehow Vegas people are really smart. I mean, if you really pay attention to the betting line, it's crazy how close that they really are every week.
I pay attention to it, and I lose a lot of money because of it.
Yeah, it's really frustrating and really annoying, to be honest. All right, well, we ready to drink this beer?
I've got mine open.
Okay, well, I was actually drinking one of these Martin City Showtimes, but we are going to try this Real Fine Liquid Lager. Who's this by again?
Cinder Block Brewery. It says it's North Kansas City.
North Kansas City. Have you heard of this place before?
I've heard of it. I don't know where it's at, though. I'm kind of interested because it says it's North Kansas City.
Yeah, I've never heard of it. The can's very, like, rustic looking, kind of old school. Yeah. Kind of reminds me of, like, an old beer, so... But it's another lager.
And they called it Real Fine Lager, too, so...
Ooh, man. Very soft taste. Yeah, I like that. It's got
I knew it was gonna be your kind of beer.
yeah. I mean, this is another lager, so I'm really gonna like it. But man, it's got good flavor. It's real soft at the beginning. Well, of course, I've been drinking this IPA for a while too, so it's kind of a big.
Yeah, you shouldn't have drank another beer before you.
That's a large palate change for sure. So yeah, this is real fine lager, Cinder Block Brewery out of North Kansas City, 4% alcohol, so it's a little lighter than last week's lager.
Real fine liquid.
Oh,
it's a
sorry.
Lager. It's called real fine liquid.
Yeah, real fine liquid lager. Really solid beer. I like this. This is definitely.
Give it a what?
It's another beer I would drink a lot. Let's put it that way. What I give the one last week? Man, this is tough. I'd have to get these lined up. I did. I gave it a 9. This week I'm gonna go an 8.7. I'm gonna go an 8.7. It's really good. This is a really good lager.
Actually, we are confusing. 2 weeks ago we did the lager, right?
No, it was last week. Oh no, it was 2 weeks ago. You're right. No, yeah.
Oatmeal stout.
We did the oatmeal stout. We just haven't put it on TikTok yet.
Yeah. So you're going 8.7?
I'm going 8.7. This is a good beer.
I think I gave the last one an 8.5. I'm going to go 8.9 on this one.
Oh, you like this one a little better, huh?
Yeah. Yeah, I do like it a little.
We're gonna have to go.
Which is weird because I'm usually a city barrel guy, but
yeah,
I'm going with this one.
We're definitely gonna have to travel up to North Kansas City to try this one.
Well, I live in North Kansas City, so you know.
Well, I mean, yeah. I'm just saying, like, we're gonna have to go to the brewery and try this one.
Yeah. It's pretty good. It honestly is pretty good.
It is pretty solid. All right. So
I think judging by the high grades we've given so far, you can tell we like beer.
Yeah.
We haven't given any bad grades yet.
Well, we still have several beers, though, that we've already picked out that might not get such high grades. And I think for October, we're still going to try or plan to do some Oktoberfest and pumpkin beers just for October, maybe on the social media platforms, which will be fun. So right now, the Indians just tied it up. So Royals sitting 5-5. Salvy did hit his 48th home run tonight, so he now is tied with Soler for the most home runs hit by a Royals player. I really hope he gets this record. I mean, no offense, but Soler, he was a short-term guy. I want the hometown hero.
You want Salvy to have the record.
Yeah,
you don't want Soler
to
have
the
it.
guy. His jersey's getting retired. Everybody for the Royals, it's going to be 13 up there in the Hall of Fame. Hall of Fame in left field. He's going to have his own statue right next to Alex Gordon's statue. Maybe, I don't know. They might not make Alex Gordon a statue. They probably should, but they might not. But yeah, I mean, the guy deserves it. He needs to get this and bring it home.
He's going to get it.
You know what the impressive thing about this home run feat for Salvador Perez is the fact that he plays in Kaufman. That's a big ballpark.
Yeah.
It's a bit.
Yeah, it is. I agree.
It's like top 3, I think, for largest ballparks. So yeah, I mean, it's not like we're.
Every field is long too. It's not just one side. Every field is long.
And yeah, he's an absolute monster right now. I mean, when you really break it down, there's obviously been a lot of home run leaders that have hit far more home runs in the previous years. So 48 and hopefully 49 and 50. It's not a crazy number, but he is also and he's also leading in RBIs.
Yeah. So he's 48 home runs right now. That's first in the league, obviously 2 up on Vlad Guerrero, and then RBI is 121. That's 8 up on Jose Abreu. So he's got a 2 home run cushion with 5 games left, or an 8 RBI cushion with 5 games left. Expect him to hit more. I'm hoping he'll get to 50 at least.
Yeah, that'd be the sweet spot.
At least he's given us something to cheer for in Kansas City. Royals 72 wins obviously haven't been relevant for quite some time.
Was last night 47? Last night was 47, right? So and they gave him the standing ovation, and I hope he got that ball. We did find out after talking about last week that the Indians fan that caught the ball, he actually didn't give it up, and he was asking for $10,000.
$10,000.
$10,000.
They wouldn't give it to him.
Which, yeah, honestly, I don't think they'd give him cash. They probably would have gave him $10,000 in merchandise. I really do. They were talking about jerseys and balls and all kinds of stuff. But the guy's an Indians fan. I mean, he doesn't want any of that. But I still think the Salvy's gear would have been on the table. The Mahomes signed jersey would have been on the table. So
I've got some breaking news that is not a good sign. Why were we talking about this? Salvador Perez just left Wednesday's game with a sprained right ankle.
Oh, you're kidding me. You are kidding me.
Dead serious. It just came across my phone.
I haven't even got it yet. That is so sickening. You know what? He might not catch the rest of the year, but he's still going to DH. What do you want to bet? That guy, you're not going to keep him out.
I hope so.
You're not going to keep him out.
Record.
He's going to DH the rest of the season.
He's tied for it right now, but still, we've got to be able to say Salvador Perez has it.
Yeah.
He's tied with Jorge Soler.
Yeah.
And he needs to get 50 just because.
I agree. So, unfortunately, though, you would think that a guy leading in RBIs and home runs has a shot at MVP, but he doesn't. Not even. I don't even think it's going to be close. I don't even know if he'll get a vote. Honestly, Shohei Ohtani's going to run away with it. And then on a typical year, if Shohei Ohtani wasn't doing what he was doing, Vlad Guerrero would probably get it because they're a playoff team, and I mean the guy's a stud. Let's be honest.
I agree. It'll be Ohtani 1, Guerrero 2. Ohtani's at 45 homers, 98 RBIs. Not to mention, he's pitching as well.
Yeah.
And then Vlad Guerrero.
And he's a good pitcher. He's a good pitcher too.
He's doing a good job as a starting pitcher. And then Vlad Guerrero's at 46 homers, 106 RBIs. So really, Salvador's probably having the better hitting year than both of them. We know what he does behind the plate, catching. He's having a great year. It's just the Royals aren't relevant. No one's paying attention.
He's gonna get awards. He's gonna get the Silver Slugger. I mean,
it would be hard for to beat Ohtani anyway, pitching the way he is and hitting.
Yeah, I mean, you can't. The guy's putting up a year you haven't seen since Babe Ruth. So yeah, he's gonna win the MVP. Quite literally
an MVP year.
Yeah, I mean,
he's the best batter on his team and the best pitcher on his team. That's the.
I would love anybody to give me an argument on why Ohtani does not deserve the MVP.
I'm sure there's somebody that'll.
There's got to be some nutcase out there that's like, oh, he's not good in this statistic or something. You know what I mean? Like the guy 100% deserves it, and I fully support it. It is unfortunate that the Royals can't be a playoff team and Salvy could get the attention that he deserves because, I mean, he's not even going to finish second, I don't think. Like I said, Vlad's probably going to get second.
He'll finish third at best if he gets any votes.
Yeah, at best third. And I was listening to some other people talk about how some of these guys on these other teams, just because they're playoff teams, might even finish ahead of them, which I find a little ridiculous in my opinion, but I get it.
Yeah. I mean, I get why they say that. Like, you take Salvador off the Royals, they're still not relevant. He doesn't. Like, I'm not trying to discredit Salvador, but I get why people aren't giving him MVP votes because they're fourth with him. Where do they fit without him? I mean,
and
these other guys are on playoff teams, and without them, they might not be a playoff team.
Yeah, and let's be honest. Like, I mean, it's time to start talking about next year. Obviously, the season's over. It's time to start talking about next year in July, but. Yeah, if you remove Salvador Perez, we're probably last place. I mean, we're pretty close anyways to last place. It doesn't look like we're going to get that jump up that I was expecting. I mean, we're 6-4 in the last 10 games, and the Indians just tied it up. So probably going to get a little hairy with Salvy out. But yeah, I mean, if Nicky Lopez is playing good, but if Dozier or even Merrifield had a decent year, I mean Merrifield's wasn't terrible, but if either one of them had a normal or a better year that we expect them to, sure, this team probably wasn't in the playoff picture, but definitely was going to be up there. Would have at least been in the wild card race. Probably wouldn't have made it, but would have been up there.
Yeah. I mean, you're probably right. Probably, I would say about a 500 team.
Yeah, I mean,
I don't think they can get much higher than that.
I think we were 300 batter away from a pretty good season. Like, pretty good. I'm not saying great or good. I'm just saying pretty good season. And next year we're gonna hit the ground running. I really believe that. starting pitching, this young pitching is going to really turn around. And I also think the bats, these young bats that are coming up, is just going to get crazy. It's going to be something I don't think we've seen. Yeah, the 2014, 2015 run, this young group might be better because the pitching's going to be better.
Hope so. Hope we have some baseball to watch next year in September and October, or the year after.
I know. I got a lot of Royals hoodies I never get to wear.
Royals are at 72 wins with 5 games left. So it looks like I'm going to be about right on my estimate. I said 74.
Yeah, you're going to be spot on.
74, 75 is where they're going to be.
Yeah.
So I'll be right at that.
I got to back off a little bit. I thought we were going to play Cleveland a little better these last few games, and we haven't, so.
You know what's funny? I listen to Kansas City radio nonstop. They said the other day what the over-under was on Royals wins, and you were just talking about how good these guys are at Vegas. Guess what the over-under was on
74. Guarantee it was 74.
74 and a half. And they're going to have 74 or 75 at the end of the season.
You know,
that's where it's going to be.
And I believe it was in 2014. It might have been 2015 where Pacoda picked them, the Pacoda statistics or whatever, picked them to be under a 500 team, and they absolutely demolished everybody. I think it had to be 2015 because that's when they did that crazy run.
Yeah.
But yeah, Pacoda had them like being a 500 team. They were not going to be anything, and they just came out of the gates and just crushed everyone. So, I mean, I don't know where Vegas was with that, but
hopefully that's how it is next year. Hopefully Vegas is estimating them about 78, and they get about 85 or 90.
Yeah, I don't expect this to be a playoff team next year. I would love to be in the race at the end of the year and just have some exciting baseball towards the end of the year, some meaningful baseball, whether that's 10 games out, you know. But I don't expect them to be a playoff team. Just being hopeful.
Yeah, I agree. Kansas City baseball, you just got to be hopeful.
Just got to be hopeful.
How about the Cardinals? They won 16 in a row, 17 in a row.
We're
clinched the playoff.
We're a KC podcast talking about the Cardinals, but yeah, we're in Missouri, so it's kind of hard. It's kind of hard to ignore it, to be honest. Like, this run that they're on is pretty crazy, and it's perfect because they just love to beat the Dodgers and in the playoffs, and that's who they're gonna play. And the Dodgers, man, they can't get past the Cardinals, so this is gonna be it's gonna be a good playoffs, I still think. So.
Well, I was going to bring up college football, but there's not a lot to talk about right now. Kansas State got their butts kicked by Oklahoma State. Missouri continues to look inept, and Kansas football is a joke. So.
Whoa, Kansas football, man! I heard this on the radio the other day. So if Kansas football, let's just say, hypothetically, and somebody else might have heard this on KC radio, but it's funny. So if Mahomes retired today and said, "Oh, there's one more year of eligibility," and went and played on Kansas. Is Kansas would Kansas play in a bowl game if they got Mahomes?
They play in a bowl game? Yeah, absolutely.
Just with getting Mahomes, that terrible team with just Mahomes.
Yes, absolutely.
Would there be anybody to block for him though?
I mean, so first of all, Kansas football is terrible. I'm not saying that I'm not trying to argue for Kansas football, but they've been somewhat competitive this season, whereas in the past they have not been competitive. With Patrick Mahomes, they would tell people to just run down. They'd be like the Chiefs playing backyard football. Just go down and get open. I'll find you. They would win 6 games somehow or another. I mean, all you got to do is win 60, bowl eligible. They'd figure it out. I'm not saying they'd be a national championship contender or anything like that, but they'd win 6 games.
Man, I was looking at the wild card standings and everything for baseball right now, and it's crazy to think that the Dodgers are going to be a wild card team with 101 wins.
The Dodgers are going to be a wild card team. The Padres aren't making the playoffs.
I know.
The best 2 teams in baseball.
And low
and
key,
the Giants demolished the West, and then the Padres fell apart.
Yeah, I mean, I guess I'll be rooting for Milwaukee. I don't know. Like I was just kind of looking at everything, and Milwaukee's probably the team I'll be rooting for, just because Kane. But
yeah.
Did you?
Hosmer's gone because San Diego's gone, so
Yeah.
gotta go to Locaine.
I know. Yeah, I would. I would totally be rooting for San Diego. I love that ballpark. Great ballpark. If you're a baseball fan, that's got to be up there on the list to go see. Historic building in left field, super cool. I had opportunity to watch the All Star game out there when Salvy and Hosmer were in the All Star game, so that was pretty awesome. But yeah, that park's really beautiful and low key. Just under the, I'm not a Padres super fan or anything like that, but I do like to see them succeed because honestly they've been pretty bad for a while and now they're good. So
yeah. So in 2 weeks we'll be going to that Bills game. We'll probably have some stuff to do there, right?
Oh, some stuff.
Have to interview some fans and stuff.
Oh man, we should have got those shirts made to interview fans.
I know. I was just thinking about
Didn't
that.
even think about that, or at least some hats. Will the golf balls be in? We do have golf balls coming in.
Oh yeah, we have golf balls coming in. We can give away a couple sleeves of those.
Yeah, we can give away a sleeve of golf balls. I mean, surely we'll find some fan that also plays golf. That can't be too hard to do, right? But yeah, Bills game. We'll have to get obviously follow us on social media because we'll have lots of TikToks and pictures and everything from that. We haven't decided what we're gonna grill or anything yet, but should be a good time. We are planning to do the chip challenge. So
I don't think I can get my smoker out there. Is the problem?
Yeah, so I almost bought the griddle with the little fryer on the right hand side. I'm like, man, just like frying anything just sounds amazing, just because it's like a deep fryer. But yeah, well, I mean, we've smoked before out there with just a charcoal grill using we push wings to the side. That's probably the easiest thing to do because it's limited time. So we could do
wings or ribs. We could do that on a charcoal grill.
Yeah, we could do either one of those. If we had to pick right now, I'd definitely go wings. I love smoked wings.
If we can find wings, that's the problem.
Yeah, that is a problem. There's a
wing shortage on chicken wings.
Well, Tyson and the
other lost all their wings.
Tyson and the other chicken companies conspired together to raise prices.
Plenty of legs, plenty of thighs, plenty of breasts, but the chickens lost their wings.
What a Wingstop in Raytown. I don't know if this would happened in every Wingstop. They started
nationwide.
They started selling thighs. Yeah, I was like, what?
And I saw an ad that said you need to go try it, and I love chicken thighs. Good chicken thighs are good, so I really kind of want to get some and check it out.
Speaking of wings, Wing Studio Lee Summit, real solid. Had it last week at a friend's party. Really good wings. So. Definitely check that out. All right, well, appreciate everybody for listening. No giveaways this year, this week, but congratulations, Kiana, on that $25 Hy-Vee gift card. Be reaching out this week to get you hooked up with that. Thank you again, Josh and Hy-Vee, for hooking us up with that gift card to get that spread around. Continue to like and follow us on social media. We're trying to put a lot of different content on TikTok. Again, like I said, I think that's probably the route we'll go with the October beers, which seems to be a popular segment for us at least. So that should go over pretty well.
I'm gonna make some pulled pork nachos this weekend for the game. I think, even though you guys aren't coming over, so Caitlin and I will enjoy some pulled pork nachos. I'll have a TikTok on preparing those.
Man, you just did pulled pork tacos. Now we're doing nachos?
Yeah, I was thinking about stuff to do, and since no one's coming over, pork butts are cheap. You can get them for $10 or $11. So since it's just gonna be me and Caitlin.
Hey, there's a special day. There's a special day on Saturday, the day before the Chiefs Bills game. So maybe we need to do something that day too. Smoke some meat that night.
I'm smoking a pork butt and a brisket that day because there's gonna be a lot of people at our house for Lilo's birthday.
Good deal.
Yeah, so thanks everybody for tuning in, and don't stop smoking the meats.
The meats.